So this is a little walkthrough of Interlagos. Just a little quick lap. I think this one was I think this is my 42651. So it felt pretty good. The track is 42C, so it's actually cooled down a little bit from the start, which makes sense with a little bit quicker lap times at the end of this session. So we'll just kind of get right into it. So braking for this turn, I like to brake just before the 50 mark. It's all going to depend on your field of view and everything. So just braking right at the 50 mark and try and leave the wheel as straight as you can. But in order to do this, make sure that you're a little bit angled so you don't dip your tire in that dirt right there. So I was pretty close on this lap. But if you do brake completely straight here, you can get that and you'll go off and spin out, and that's not fun. So I basically keep it in a straight line, aiming right for those Sao Paulo words for the majority of the braking zone, really heavy on the brake, 80-90% for the whole time, and then start that rotation and then get down to this curb. And right here is just about perfect. So I like to take a lot more curb around this, and this isn't an off track. So I get a lot more curb on it, and I'm full throttle as early as I can get it. Not quite full throttle on this occasion, but 75% is close enough. Because the key here is you want your left tires pretty much on this white line on the exit of the track to maximize the turn 2 into turn 3. Because that's just worth a lot of time. Because you could gain 2/10 braking into turn 1, but you could lose 3 or 4/10 going through turn 2, turn 3, and down the whole straightaway. So it's best to sacrifice a 10th or 2 going into 1 and maximize your exit going through 3, because this should be full throttle. And if you're lifting off the gas, you're just losing a ton of time. So here you can hook it a little bit. If you go any more than this, it's an off track. This actually may have been an off track. Maybe not. I don't really know. That might have been an off track. So let's look at, nope, wrong button. Here we go. No, that's what I do every lap. So that's not an off track. Cut that, because that grass right there, it hooks you. And then you're good for this turn. This is flat out. Get up on that curb. I don't like getting on the grass right there, because you see the whole attitude of the car. There's a really good bump there, and that kind of disrupts your momentum. So not the end of the world here, just kind of going through the throttle. Now here's the really hard part of the track. Brake just about the 100-meter mark, maybe 110. You'll figure it out. And again, all field of view. Here's really heavy in the braking zone. You want to make sure you're as wide as you can get braking into this. I guess this is 4 and 5. Yeah, 4 and 5. So braking in 4 and 5. Careful not to dip your tire again. This is in the race. I probably won't go this wide because that's just too close for comfort. So brake pretty hard. I like a later apex here. And then I'm on the gas as early as I can get it. And here, you can go a little wider, but that off track is brutal. Like if your left tire touches that white line at all, that's an off track. So get up on that curb, full throttle as early as you can get it. This next turn is really a non-turn. Then coming up the hill, there's 2 different ways to do it. I prefer tight and in 3rd gear and throttle on right here. So when I'm sitting here on the car right now, I'm looking at that curb. And so as I'm going through this corner, I'm looking at this curb. I spot this curb. Then I'm looking up here to that point, and then I aim for that point. Then once I get to this point, I'm looking out here to see where the off track's at. Once I know I'm not going to go off track, then I start looking towards my apex going down into here. And here you want to be as tight as you can be. But we'll go through this. Here's where the biggest tire killer is going to be on the whole track. So make sure that you're not using the tire too much. here, and that's why I like it tight and a little bit slower and focus on the exit of the turn. Use both curbs. Here you can go wider. I do believe the off track is right tires right here, so I actually have a little bit a little bit on the table here to go wider, but that's okay. Braking point, really not a good braking. Yeah, you just kind of have to spot it from when you see it by feel. Braking point here, brake nice and early down to second gear. Trail brake a lot. You can see on this track, I have a lot of time on that 10% brake. And then throttle as early as you can, then you dip into this kind of downhill left-hander. Again, as much curb as you can get that loads the car, that loads these outside tires because you're jacking the weight, and then you can get on gas a lot earlier. So then you're coming up the hill. You shouldn't be, if you're all the way on these curbs on exit, you're getting on gas too soon, or you're apexing too early for this turn. You should not really be getting on those curbs until about here. And then this uphill right-hander, I use this line as my line because that mark is one of those permanent ones. And then you can see I have wheel in it, but then I let off the wheel and I brake in a straight line down to first gear, hard on the exit. And again, here's where you want to wait till your car is pointed all the way mostly in the right direction before you go full throttle. And again, you shouldn't be on those curbs. If you're on those curbs, you're probably apexing too early or getting on the gas too soon. So then this turn is pretty much full throttle. When your tires start to get really worn, you might push out wide and catch a bad off track on this, but for the most part, that's going to be a easy flat out turn. Then here, I like to maximize this. You can go all the way out here. I'm actually not sure. Oh, they don't have the new off track file for this. I'm not sure where the off track's at, but I just get my left tires just onto this weird concrete stuff. There's a lot of grip there that you can use. Braking point, again, is kind of hard. Now that I'm looking at it, there's a little patch right there. I don't even know if you can see it in cockpit. Oh my goodness. Cockpit. Yeah, maybe. Down to second gear, and the turn-in point is a little bit before the concrete and asphalt meet. So that one I missed by a good bit. So that's a bad example. I'll skip to another lap, but ideally you want to be all the way on that apex. So here I turned in a little bit too late, or I was carrying too much speed. I don't quite remember. And here is a great example. If you notice when I get on gas, watch the attitude of the car. Just wants to understeer. So we'll watch that in 2 speeds. So just watch the throttle and attitude of the car. So it's just pushing and pushing and pushing. So that is not a very good turn there. We'll go this lap, see if this one has it. Is that the same lap? I don't think so. Sorry, I'm a mess right now. You know, it would be a lot faster to just rewind backwards. There we go. So that's about perfect. We'll do this one. There you go. So that's pretty much a lap at Interlagos.